It's nice to have you join us. You're watching the news at 5 here on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. We start off from River State, where it's a new breath of fresh air for residents and motorists of Elele, Egbeda-Moko area in Port Harcourt, with the commissioning of the dual carriageway measuring 33.5 kilometers. The project is expected to ease traffic and boost businesses along that corridor. And for many years, the people had battled with bad roads. But today, all that story has indeed changed.
We thank It is a 33.5 kilometer road that also has a river crossing bridge. For anybody who understands the nature of this road will appreciate what we have done here. It's not just a project, it's a statement that we have made to show our people, the three local governments, the benefits, the communities that are most close to this project, that we care for you and your concerns are our concern. We already know what normally happens in this road. It is a corridor for kidnap. It is also a very big corridor for bunkering. I'm very, very convinced that with what we have done today, those things will be things of the past. Security agencies can operate effectively along this corridor. Even the activities of the men of the underworld will be limited because they operate where there is bad road. They operate where normal life does not exist. In this project, we have lights from the beginning to the end. So even in the night, it is properly illuminated.
For the Vice President Kashim Shettima, who commissioned the dual carriageway, his message is for residents who traverse the newly commissioned roads to participate in its maintenance to avoid it deteriorating soon.
We thank God for the election.
Roads are the most democratic instruments of development. They serve the farmer carrying produce to market, the trader seeking customers, the worker traveling to employment, the student going to school, and the patient seeking medical care. When a road walks, society moves. The road is the heart of our celebration today. One stood as a warning rather than an invitation. We have had how deep gullies, a deteriorated carriageway, difficult journeys and security concerns force many travelers to avoid this road. Today, that memory gives way to a modern dual carriageway, illuminated for safer movement by day and night. This achievement reminds us that governance is a continuum. One administration lays a foundation, another strengthens it, and the people remain the final beneficiaries. That continuity is how public service earns meaning and citizens receive the respite they deserve. We can now look forward to farmers moving produce faster and with fewer losses, traders reaching larger markets, businesses reducing logistic costs, and families recovering hours once surrendered to difficult travel. For communities along this axis, development has acquired an address closer to home.
It's its own way of contributing to the modernization of the state, as it promises timely completion of all existing projects. In Niger State and for more than 30 farming communities in Moye Egba ward of Lapai local government area, flooding has become a recurring threat to homes, farmlands and livelihoods. Now, residents are appealing to the federal government to provide additional funding to the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and Hyperdeck to fast-track the construction of an embankment designed to control the flooding.
For the people of Moye, the embankment under construction represents more than a development project. It is seen as a possible barrier between their homes, farmlands and the flood waters that have repeatedly disrupted their lives and economic activities. During an inspection of the project, the village head of Muye and Amana Kakanda, Saliu Mohammed, expresses concern over the pace of work.
Damage is uncountable, because around this hill, there is a river there where fishing is done, farming equally. Those farms are not condemned. The river is gone, replaced by sands. And we don't want the entire river to be overtaken by sands. I appeal to the federal government, please, fund this project. I know you have so many things in your head. Government, let our problem we have here should be a top priority. The way others expect theirs to be a top priority, I want mine to equally be a pure priority.
Leading the inspection team, the managing director of NIPADEC, Abubakar Yelwa, represented by the Director of Finance and Administration, Haruna Gabi, assesses the progress of work and the quality of construction, which has been monitored by consultants to ensure compliance with approved specifications.
We have satisfactions, but the satisfaction is not without some observations. The observation is to make sure the next time we come, we will be on the same page totally with the contractor. The contractor has been very active, and the consultant has been monitoring to ensure that there is no deviation from the standard.
Commending NIPADEC for the intervention, the member representing Agay Lapai Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Abdullahi Mahmoud, urges residents to be patient as similar requests for flood control infrastructure are emerging from different parts of the country.
My call on the people is to persevere, to be tolerant, and appreciate the efforts that we're putting on the government to get this done. There are demands all over the country for this type of projects. And for us to be lucky to have it, I think they need to put us in prayer and be more patient.
The people of Muye are optimistic they can return to their day-to-day activities without the constant fear of flood waters.
The National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, has commenced planting of at least 1 million economic trees across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones as part of efforts to tackle climate change, restore degraded ecosystems, and boost rural livelihoods. The initiative under the authority's Green Hope Project and Youth Agroforestry and Climate Action Campaign has so far seen 5,000 trees planted across 4 locations in Abuja, Ogun, Plateau, and Kwara states, with about 400 youths engaged in the exercise. Speaking during the closeout of the first phase of the campaign in Okeonigbi, Isin local government area of Kwara State, NALDA's Special Assistant to the Executive Secretary, Al-Mustafa Ibrahim, explained that the authority had received approval to plant an additional 56,000 trees across 34 horticultural clusters nationwide. Also speaking, the NALDA Senior Assistant Technical to the Executive Secretary, Olusegun Wolabi, said the program was designed to restore the ecosystem while expanding horticultural production.
As an authority, the Executive Secretary, Engineer Cornelius Olusegun Adebayo, has thought it right to put perimeter fencing across our horticulture clusters. So our horticulture clusters, we have it in about 38 locations, like I said, and we have it in a range of 5 to 20 hectares. And within these trees, we're planting mango tree, coconut tree, fig tree, as well as avocado pear. So these are our 4 major target crops for now, and we're using it to kind of provide a perimeter fencing for our clusters so that the farmers can earn more from it, because each of these trees we're planting, we'll be registering them through our partnership with the National Council on Climate Change, NCCC, where we are trying to see how we can earn carbon credits from these trees, as well as add to our food security agenda, which the authority is currently pushing.
Engineer Cornelius Olusegun Adebayo thought of it that, one, we can hit our cake and have it back. We've removed all the trees here. We've distorted ecosystem. And we want to restore the ecosystem at the same time. To restore the ecosystem, we've decided to plant horticultural tree crops around the horticultural field. And there we are going to plant like avocado. Yeah, we are going to plant like coconut. We are going to plant like mangoes. All these things will enhance the environment and will improve the life of the communities.
One of the Green Hope ambassadors, Kemi Okundari, said the initiative will help local farmers gain access to land and improve revenue.
The program will help a lot of local farmers to have more access to land and thereby increasing their revenue. So it will make life better and it will be increase food in Nigeria.
In Benue, the state government has commenced the assets audit of the Katsina-Ala yam flour processing factory as part of ongoing efforts to revive the moribund facility. Now, the audit conducted by the State Investment and Property Company Limited is aimed at assessing the condition of the factory's equipment and determining the steps required to help restore the production capacity of that facility.
The Katsina-Ala yam flour processing factory, established by the Benue State government in 2014 to support agro-allied processing of yam, now lies abandoned. Sankera Federal Constituency, covering 3 local government areas, Katsina-Ala, Ukum and Lugu, is widely renowned for being a major hub for yam production, yet the factory has been unable to deliver on the expectations. The management of the Benue Investment Property Company is at the factory to conduct an asset audit and establish a technical roadmap for reviving the 60 metric tons yam processing factory.
A nation that exports raw material, they will always be poor. But a nation that, produce, add value to its material, you will see that they are always rich. So that is our desire, that the governor is driving this process to ensure that most of the government assets, they are no longer dormant. They have come to life so that our team youth will have jobs.
For so many years, imagine when the plant was installed. Up to this moment, nothing has been done, no commercial production of any kind. The raw material to be fed in is 60%, and what's to be turned out is 20 metric tons per day.
The plan to revive the factory comes as a delight to the people, highlighting the economic impact it will have on the area.
If this company is revived, it will first and foremost provide job opportunities for our teeming youths. As a local government, where the company is being established, we are going to work hand in hand with the state government to provide enough security here.
As part of the resuscitation effort, the state government paid the 5-month salary arrears owed to security personnel at the facility.
The federal government says it will continue to put policies in place and provide an enabling environment to improve and scale local refining capacity for the oil and gas sector. Speaking at the 5th edition of the Pengassan Energy and Labour Summit in Abuja, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Ministers of Petroleum and Labour and Employment also reiterated the commitment to improving the sector's regulatory framework. Correspondent Dele Omoyeni reports.
Now, this summit has drawn...
Industry heavyweights in the energy sector have come together for the 5th edition of the Pengassan Energy and Labour Summit, put together by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria.
I appreciate you.
It is an annual event that gathers key government regulators, industry executives, and labor leaders to shape policy, address workforce challenges, and secure sustainable growth in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. The federal government assures Nigerians that it is working to ensure energy security for the country.
The objective is not merely to create regulations for their own sake, but to establish a predictable environment in which investors can commit capital with confidence. Operators can plan for the long term, regulators can discharge their responsibilities effectively, and Nigerians can derive a greater value from their natural resources.
Other President Bola Ahmed Tinubu targeted presidential orders
and executive orders have been deployed to address practical constraints identified in the course of the implementation of the PIA.
Themed strengthening regulatory frameworks as catalysts for stability and growth in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, the host and an industry regulator calls for improved stabilized regulatory frameworks for the country.
The interest and livelihood of Nigeria oil and gas workers adequately protected. Regulation should never become an obstacle to investment, but neither should investment become an excuse for weak standards. There must be a balance. As an association, we remain particularly concerned about the human consequences of regulatory and commercial decisions. Licenses and assets may change hands, but workers are not commodities to be discarded at will.
Aging infrastructure, even the regulatory uncertainty was a major impediment. And what we mean by that, it's not like the PIA hasn't done its job. The PIA has done its job, but underlining the PIA, we came up with regulations, and we are still working those regulations.
Since the PIA is, we've had regulators who are not...
Now, over the next 3 days here, participants will discuss regulatory frameworks, workers' welfare, as well as employee behavior in the energy sector. Delia Moyeni, Channels Television News.
All right, we'll go on this break, and when we come back, of course, APC support group staged protest over alleged exclusion after the conclusion of the Osun State governorship poll. Join us again. Welcome back. Days after the conclusion of the Osun State governorship elections, there appears to be deepening cracks within the fold of the All Progressives Congress, as a group under the aegis of APC resident community support groups worldwide has berated the party's leadership for the non-implementation of the recently amended party constitution, despite directives from President Bola Tinubu. Now, the group is also alleging the non-inclusion of the party support groups in the process of elections, as well as the deliberate marginalization of other national deputy executives, which they believe contributed to the party's poor outing at the Osun elections, despite huge funds allocated for the prosecution of it. Now, the groups began their demonstration from Ekwa Junction before marching to the APC National Secretariat in Abuja.
We have been on air. We have started and continued continuous media awareness to press upon the NWC and the NEC to, as a matter of urgent necessity, look into the draft constitution of APC, ratify and amend so that it can be a working document. The way the case is at present, APC is operating with two constitutions, and it's a fundamental first part. Number two, very, very unfortunate, there is discrimination in composition of NWC. Every member of APC national officer is from a state, and every state has unalloyed right and equity to the same offices and the same conditions of any other national officers. Therefore, it will see it as a sign of gross marginalization. Not even marginalization alone, but subjugation, and for most importantly, as a letdown to the space that produces the office of the National Deputy Treasurer, office of the National Deputy Youth Leader, office of the National Deputy Legal Advisor, office of the National Deputy Auditor. Those offices have been segregated upon, whereas other Deputy National Officers are NWC members.
We demand the party chairman, the party immediately respect the directive of Mr. President and proceed with the ratification and full implementation of the amended APC Constitution. Party supremacy, internal democracy, and adherence to our rule must be upheld to strengthen the party ahead of the upcoming general election. 2. Statutory organization of APC support group. We resolve that APC support group must be formally recognized as a statutory organ of the party.
Yes, yes.
In the amended constitution, we are not WhatsApp group. We are the mobilizer, defender, and full soldiers of the party. We demand constitutional backing, representation, and direct interface with the National Working Committee and party structure.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's power sector is recording another infrastructure boost as the federal government moves to strengthen electricity transmission capacity in Lagos. The Minister of Power commissioned new transformer projects across 4 transmission substations, with the upgrades expected to improve the stability and reliability of power supply across key areas of the state.
Electricity generation receives a boost in Lagos State as the Minister of Power, Engineer Joseph Tegbe, tours 4 substations with a total of 7 132 33 kV power transformers and a 330 kV power transformer project installed in various substations. In Lekki, the intervention comprises 1 300 MVA power transformer and 2 60 MVA power transformers, while a 100 MVA power transformer is commissioned in Alausa Transmission Substation. Speaking at the event, the Honourable Minister says the intervention represents more than installation of new equipment.
This commissioning transcends completion of an engineering project to me. It's an investment in one of the most economically consequential corridors in our country. It's a deliberate strengthening of the arteries through which the Nigerian economy moves.
This is aimed to increase total transformation capacity of substation from 135 MVA to 205 MVA, equivalent to approximately 164 megawatts. More importantly, it's set to increase the quantum of bulk power available to Ikeja Electric Distribution Company by 80 megawatts for onward delivery to customers within its franchise area.
We also use this opportunity to respectively appeal for similar grant support to be extended to other critical sections of our transmission network. This will enable TCN to continue to sustain and automate transmission operations across the country in line with our mandate. Today, we celebrate progress, partnership, and a brighter energy future for Lagos and for Nigeria.
The commissioning also covers projects in Apapa and Ijora area of Lagos. In Apapa, it's 2 60 MVA substations and 2 number 100 MVA in Ijora. A total of 540 MVA transformer capacity at 132 kV level, with the ability to wheel 432 megawatts and 300 MVA transformer capacity at 330 kVA level, with additional capacity to transmit 240 megawatts within the transmission network in Lagos State.
And that's News at 5. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The World Today is up next.